Yeah. Hey, good evening, everybody. So this is more of a test, and what I'm trying to do is just make sure all my restream stuff is ready to go. But also, I'll go ahead and dive into what I'm expecting tonight into the morning. It's been a fantastic week, and I'm sure a lot of you are doing well. There's no sense up here to say, hey, look at what I've done. I think a lot of traders have done really well this week. If you're not having a good week, reach out. Maybe there's something we can do to help you, but also just watch me. So that's what I'm going to do is teach you a little bit of stuff tonight. So I got a little bit of a nap, and I am wide awake. And so if you have any questions, please be open, and let me teach you some stuff. Okay? Let's go ahead and take a look at ES futures. So, for anyone that doesn't know, Trendy Trading, myself, what I do is use the ES futures as my guide into the entire market. I've been doing this for using the ES futures as my blueprint to trade the market probably close to 7 years now, just the ES futures themselves. Okay, and this gives me a really good picture into my expectations for the next day, for the week, and so forth. And let me explain that to you. Back in December, I sent out to our members here using a monthly chart, a projection for 2021. So if we were to go back, and this right here, folks, is you're going to be your monthly screen right here on your left, and over here is going to be a 4 hour for right now. So back in December, we started to notice that we were pushing up from what we call a double inside and up. And basically, a forecast from a double inside and up is we have to create range. So you know that the probabilities are very high that you're going to push up in order to create this support down here. Okay. And then one thing that we noticed right after that is in the month of December, January, we went ahead and went inside and then once again finished the month on an inside and up. From there, I used some projections using some of the cool stuff that I do with Fibonacci's and so forth. And I taught how to do this, but we put this red box up here and all these lines here back in December. So far, what we're looking at from a monthly perspective is that it has absolutely been extremely bullish, and not once in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months, folks, have we went inside. That's pretty amazing. So 7 months straight up here. All right. Now, what's important also is that we came into this red box. Don't let the red box veer you away. Don't let it scare you. Okay. So it should scare you if we had formations up and to the left. And what I mean, let me go ahead and show you. So over here on the left hand side, if I had formations, candle formations, let's say we had it inside and down. If we were moving into that inside and down, it'd be a little bit different. But we are in blue sky breakouts. Okay. So all we can do is use Fibonacci extensions, which I would say I love, absolutely love teaching Fibonacci's. We did a video or a WebEx that we did several months ago, and it's definitely one of my best, and that can be found at TrendyTrading.co as well. Okay, and it kind of shows you exactly how I use fibs. Now, because we're in blue skies, the only thing I can tell you is that the extension targets I gave back in the day at 44.66, again back in December, is we have reached that area. So for me and my team, what I'm coaching is, hey, this has been a beautiful 7 month run, right? There's nothing to be concerned about except for a couple numbers, and we'll get to that in a few seconds. But as long as price is holding above this 44.66, things look good. Now you'll notice that I have an alert here at 43.98 and a half. That 43.98 and a half, what that tells me is if for some reason this month's candle, and we have until next Tuesday, comes into the inside of the previous month, then guess what? We have then formed that inside candle. Now, when we create that inside candle, I want you just to imagine this for a second. I'm going to make this red. If we get an inside candle, then things start to look a little bit differently. And then that next month in September, if for some reason we start to go down, okay, then what I would be looking for is this move back down into this 41.97 level and possibly back to test the 9 EMA on the monthly chart, okay? But again, that's just a forecast. That's if this, then that. If price moves below 43.98 and a half, then the probability suggests that we could be pulling back into that level. All right, so that's the big picture. Okay, we got that out of the way. The year's been pretty nice if you were to just look at the ES futures or the SPY or the Qs, but the market's not been that easy to trade. I think everybody would agree with that. Matter of fact, this is what we come up with, and it took several months to really come up with this, is that you trying to buy the tops of some of these rallies has not worked out for most traders. Matter of fact, the best time to actually trade was at lower levels. One thing that's amazing here is that we have these levels already in store. Again, my Fibonacci, my trendy edges, all of that stuff is basically related to what we call supply and demand. Some traders would call this support and resistance. Okay, so are they the same? Not exactly. Okay. Over here on the right hand side, this is what's important for tomorrow. This is why I really wanted to get in here and give you guys some kind of insight for tomorrow. Notice, okay, notice here right now at our daily edges. It's really simple. My lower levels on the screen, right? They're already programmed in here. I don't have to do anything. Lower levels are to be support, upper levels are resistance. It's really that straightforward. Going into a 4 hour for tomorrow morning, if this cloud or this 9 EMA cannot hold, notice that we had a trendy buy signal come in here on the 4 hour. Now, roughly, this is around 4446 by 4461. So we're going to bring that down just a tad to about 44. Yeah, I'm going to go about right there. And this is what we call a buying level. Okay, so when price comes into here, because my banners at the top of the screen are bullish, what I'm looking to do is buy the dip until it doesn't work. And this has been going on for months, folks. So the better time to buy, in my opinion, is when prices pull back into these levels. It's not been easy trying to buy a breakout in most cases. Okay. So inside and ups formed here, we have a buy signal. What I would be looking for into tomorrow is for price to come back into this level. Another thing that I'd like to point out is this is a what we call a trendy edge. So when price is above, okay, when it's above a trendy edge and it's moving back, I'm looking for that support. Now, don't just take a blind trade, right? What I personally like to do is wait for that reclaim of my level. So when price gets in there, I'm just going to watch it. And once it reclaims, that's where I'm going to take my trade. Okay. Now, several things that you could do here on the futures. Just kind of show you guys a few things that are pretty cool. We can come over here to Active Trader. All right. And this is just for me, but I teach also how to set up your templates. Okay, that's really important. All right, notice that right here on Thinkorswim there's a template and it says single. Well, if I open mine, you can see I have all kinds of cool stuff that I can use. I have what we call ES max risk. So what that means is maybe I'm feeling like it's risk on scenario. So I'm going to be taking a trade with max risk, whatever that means to me. That might be a 5-point stop opposed to my ES minimal risk, which is a 2-point stop. Okay, and so we teach how to set these up as well. It's pretty neat. I think you could probably go on YouTube and figure this out as well, but I highly recommend, if you are using the active trader over here, that you come into this area and go ahead and set up templates that allow you to get in and out of price very quickly. Okay, so you can see here I have oil minimum, options 50-cent risk, option 30 cents risk, and so forth. So again, I trade this using option chains as well. Pretty cool. Now, one thing just to familiarize yourself with Thinkorswim when you're looking at futures, you can click on this question mark here, and this is going to tell you right away that for every tick, it's $12.50. Either you can be right or you can be wrong. There's 4 ticks in a point. So basically it's like $1, a quarter, 4 quarters, everyone is $12.50. All right, so $50 per point. Let me tell you something. If you're wrong and you don't use stops, this can really raise the blood pressure and blow accounts very quickly. Okay. Also notice that what they're saying here is the quantity times the margin requirement is $17,299. So basically you need to have that much money in your account. That's what Thinkorswim is asking you to have in your account to trade that. And another thing you could do is come over here and say just click on 5, and then you could hit this question mark again, and that's going to tell you, hey, for every tick it's $62.50, and your quantity or your margin requirement is $86,000. Things have dramatically went up in the last several years. I could tell you that it was not too long ago, probably about 4 years ago, that these were probably coming in around $1,000 or $2,000 for the margin required on here. So volatility increases that. Okay, so that's what we're seeing. Another cool fact, if you want to write this down, for every 10 points in the ES, you're looking for $1 in the SPY. Okay. All right, so once again, what I'll be looking for is a nice move back down into here to start our morning. Okay, so again, let me just go ahead and show you that. I like to draw to give you the idea of what I'll be looking for. So we'll be looking to see if it can dig in a little deep here. And then somewhere around in this area, I'd be looking for bids to come in and buyers to show up. And what this does is it creates some range for us. However, if we break down, it's also going to create this wall of resistance. So however deep we fall, say even if this were to happen, this creates the range for the upside. So at support, then we can trade into resistance. Okay? Remember, that's what we're always talking about. So professional traders love to see range created. What we don't want to see is a really tight range right at the top or the highs of things. It's very difficult to trade at times. It's very hard to put a lot of risk behind trades being right at the top. Okay? So that's the ES futures. That's what I'll be looking for this morning. So, or into the morning. Again, a pullback into this level. All right, and so that's ES futures. Let's go ahead and move down. There's a couple of names that I want to take a look at. MGM is one of them. And I'll be doing this nightly, so if you guys want to come along and just kind of hang out with me, that's awesome. But I also encourage you to ask some questions if you'd like. And let's see if this works really quick. I'm using an app called Restream, and it's really cool. I had to, basically, I'm shooting out to different social media platforms, and I just want to see if it works. We'll see if it actually works. I'm not sure. Looks like you have to download the app or embed. So let's see if we can do that. See if I open in browser, see if that will work real quick. Let's see. I always forget, a lot of you guys on the East Coast, it's kind of late there. It's 11 o'clock at night, so. And then for me, yeah, I'm on Central Time. A lot of people think I'm on Eastern, but I am Central. And then out in California, what are we at? 8 o'clock? They're just having dinner, right? All right, so MGM, just really quick. I'll go ahead and show you this and what I'm looking at. This is a monthly chart, and well, if you're a Trendy member, then you kind of understand this by using some Fibonacci's. We're finally getting above that 38.2, which is kind of a big deal. And what I would like to see into tomorrow, probably 1 to 3 hours or so, is at that 39.39 level holds. What I'm looking for is a move back into the 45 level. First, before that though, 42.90. Okay, and then 45, and then 50, as you can see right here. So this is a trade plan for me, and again, I like it off the monthly chart. I love the fact that it came back and tested the 9 EMA on the monthly chart. Again, this is a longer time frame look. I love that we're hammering off of here and that we're going inside. So what this is setting up to look like forecasted right now is that for the month of August, that we're going to close inside. That means I wouldn't expect to move over this body for right now of the previous, okay? But coming into September, October timeframe, I'd really like to see that inside and up. That puts us back in the channel as well. Okay, see this channel down here? All right, you can see that. That put us back in that channel, and then I'm looking for it to continue to move up. Now, as far as bigger resistance on the monthly, this thing has some ways to go. I mean, it could push over 50 into 60 and then quickly back up to 75. All right, so I will be watching this. This is definitely on my long-term trades. Okay. Now we had some amazing trades today. We also had some Upstart. Let's go ahead and take a look at that one. This one pushed up very nicely, and I just want to kind of give you an idea of what I was looking at. So the entire time that we have been trading Upstart, um, I was basically focused on the monthly, and you can see here we had a double inside and up. And honestly, this thing looks like it's just getting started. Now, what I'll tell you about this is that it's super volatile. All right. It's really volatile. So for anybody that's like used to trading like Starbucks or something like that, you would come in here and, basically you would get your socks knocked off because you're going to come in here, you're going to think that it's hardly going to move, and then you're going to get some volatile move to the downside. Look at these wicks, okay? These wicks right here tell you this is not an easy trade, all right? And so if you're not used to this, again, it can rock you. How I like to trade this is using debit spreads. It's a lot easier. I just take a level, I buy a call and sell a call against it, and then I'm able to collect on the upside. And then I'm not stressing so much about the premium and the directionals. Okay. Now what we're looking for, let's go ahead and clear the drawing set really fast. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and throw some levels on here. And what I'm doing is just finding where price is probably most likely going to be supported. All right, and I'm going to use the 38.2 down here because this is going to be a longer term. And then I'm going to use what we call Fibonacci extensions. I'm going to go ahead and use this entire rally, okay, and pick the right one here. So we're going to go from pivot low into this pivot high, okay. We're going to double click here. And what I'm going to use here is the 23.6 all the way to the 50. All right, because we're thinking, into the end of the year here. All right, and this is basically how it's set up. If price were to pull back to this 184.80, it's a buy for me. Okay, it's a buy, especially on a reclaim. And then the long term into December to February timeframe, what I'm looking for, and this could happen this could literally happen in the next couple weeks, but either way, what I'm looking for is a move up into around 315. Okay, 260 to 315. Short term, again, needed to hold probably the 205 level. I wouldn't expect it to come back to 184 this week. I would expect it to digest after that big move. And you can see right here, we're already kind of doing that. So this is what I would forecast maybe in here for a little bit. And then once we break out, then we start to look for these upper targets here at 264. Okay. All right. So what else can we look at here? So oil futures, this was a great call also here. This was a move very important to understand is that it came into the monthly 9 EMA and look at this beautiful bounce on the reclaim. All right, so it may not look like much to you, but the oil futures, for every dollar, you're looking at $1,000. So for every penny, it's $10. All right, that you're right. So it's really important to have yourself a process. And in this case, we have levels of demand and supply and resistance and support. It makes trading a lot easier. It doesn't mean that we're actually going to always be profitable, but it definitely helps you to get ready for a trade. And quite honestly, the most important thing for me when I'm trading is that I know where my stops are, where my entries are, and where my targets are, which all of that we teach. So And let me kind of just show you what happened here. For anybody that's out there to trade supply and demand and so forth, this is pretty straightforward. You can see that the monthly pulled back into this very nice inside and up. Notice that the trendy edge was support. Also, we had a trendy buy signal right around where this green arrow is. And then if you like EMAs, which we teach those too, this 9 EMA here, you can see that we pulled back into that. We found support. Don't the biggest mistake that I see out there in trading is a lot of traders, they just try to take a level immediately. And really, the best way to approach a level when things are trending or going up is on a pullback. Wait for it to come into your level. I don't care what level you use, but your level is special to you. And if it comes back to your level, wait until it's reclaimed. Right? A lot of people, what I see out there, one of the biggest mistakes is that they just take a level. They're like, well, it's coming back to the 8 EMA. That's my favorite, right? It comes back, it hits that, and then automatically they take it and they get flushed. And when they get flushed and then price then moves up after they're stopped out, they're very, very frustrated. So one easy solution to that that can really change your game is just actually waiting for that reclaim of whatever level you're using, whether it's EMAs, whether it's supply and demand, whether it's resistance and support, right? That's going to be a really cool trick that you can use to help you out. All right. All right, so moving on down here, ABNB had a fantastic move today. This chart right here, folks, again, I can't make this stuff up. That's like my signature. I've been saying that for many years. Many have said that because we show a lot of proof of concept, right? And so this chart I actually put together quite some time ago. Matter of fact, you can see here probably about 2 months ago. We came right into support around 141.08. It took a little bit, all right, but it's working. And matter of fact, this is an inside and up. And this inside and up is just getting started, folks. And guess where it's headed? To the inside and down. From a monthly perspective, ABNB literally just got above the cloud. All right? Just got above the cloud. So when price moves above the cloud, we're looking for it to be support. All right? So, if this is supported and this is just getting started, this has a long way to run. Again, ABNB's personality, folks, for the last, 1, 2, 3.5 months, it's been a dog, and then all of a sudden that sleeping dog, it's awake, right? And boom, it's moving. All right. So just think about that and why it started to take so long to start moving. It's just because they're accumulating shares down there at that level, and they saw that they wanted this for this move. And most likely, probably shook out a lot of retail traders before this move just because it took so long. All right, so again, notice I'm concentrating on the monthly chart tonight to look at the bigger picture here. And again, we could see 168 pretty easily. All right, let's talk about some China names really quick, and then I'll call it a night. Let's see, BABA came into my box here as well. It started to push up. We put this box out here quite some time ago. You can see here on the smaller time frame, what I would like to see is a gap up tomorrow above this cloud, so somewhere around 175, 176. If things start moving overnight and futures start to go green, then maybe we'll see that. If not, then I'd expect price just to kind of hang around 169, 170. And then once we punch over this 173.22, we could see that move into 180, 185, and then upwards towards 186 and 3/4. Okay, that's BABA. Let's go ahead and take a look at BIDU, another winner for us this morning. This was a blueprint that I put together quite some time ago. And this is from a weekly. You're not going to see that on a monthly. But what's really easy to understand is just looking for the bigger candles can kind of direct you to where we're going to find demand in the market. So price ran out of buyers. It goes back to where it knows where there's buyers. That would be right in this area. So we created this blueprint again quite some time ago. Price came right into there. We bought, and then you can see what happened. So from the 137 area all the way into what? And man, this goes really nicely today, close to 156. So probably headed towards 159. I would expect resistance there. If you notice here, trendy indicators are saying that there is resistance. Plus, you got the trendy edge here. So again, my top target, if it blows through this, who cares? That's awesome, make more money. But what I'm looking for right now is 159. All right. Anyways, I'll be doing this at night. I'll probably get it a little bit more detailed around, just a couple names that I'll monitor and go over. And if you want to join me, just hang out here. It'll be kind of random. I'm not sure I'll make it a specific time. And I'll be on here just to kind of give a few hints of what I'm looking at and so forth. And don't forget, we have a lot of free content at TrendyTrading.co, and there's a blog there that was put together, and there's a lot of good information there, folks. So I would recommend that you go and check that out. These are things that I have learned and that I've taught. It's not stuff that I feel like you're going to find on YouTube. We This is a little bit more outside the box thinking. This is more like institutional stuff, looking for the bigger buyers and bigger sellers, and giving our team, places where high probability entries, targets, and so forth. Okay, so. Anyways, you guys have a great night, and I appreciate you checking me out, and have a nice day.